Morning, all. All right, so starting things off today with a news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Saturday, December the 28th. Starting with the Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin, who's been missing time with a broken fibula, and that will cause you to miss some time. He is returning tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So good news for Caps fans and for the Capitals themselves. And on the Toronto side of things, we know that Matthews won't be playing, although he's apparently trending towards a return, I guess. The verbiage around Matthews seems almost identical to the last time he was out of the lineup, where he missed almost a month of action. So we'll see how long he's out this time. But Matt Murray starts tonight against the Capitals. So Murray's job is to stop Ovechkin. I'm sure he's familiar with that task from his time in Pittsburgh. But he gets to try that tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we'll see how that game goes for everybody. Pettersson and Hughes are both seen as doubtful today against Seattle, last that I saw. Hughes got shaken up in the last game, and then they played him a ton, and so there's been a lot of discussion within the Canuck fandom about all of that. But yeah, we'll see how the Canucks do today against Seattle, if they do have to go without two of their biggest star players. John Tortorella, do not ask him about Cutter Gauthier. Even as a joke, I think it might be a bad idea, because he was asked about it at a presser before their game against Anaheim, which goes this afternoon. He doesn't want to answer questions about Gauthier. He doesn't want to be asked anything about Gauthier at all, and he was very clear on that, whereas Gauthier is, excited to play against the Flyers and all that fun stuff. Remember, Gauthier decided not to play for Philadelphia, told him he wouldn't, and he ends up getting traded to Anaheim. It ends up being petty for the first little bit, but it passes. So at any rate, I don't blame Tortorella for not wanting to answer questions on a player who does not play for his team and does not want to. And I don't even blame him for being a little bit blunt about it. Because if you're not blunt about it, they're going to keep asking you. So then when you're blunt about it and you tell them you don't want to answer any questions, then it becomes a soundbite. You really can't win in that situation. Trevor Moore's been placed on IR by the LA Kings. They have recalled Kaliev and activated him from injured reserve. So he was down, I believe, on a conditioning stint. He's been recalled, and so we'll see how the LA Kings do. They're hosting the Edmonton Oilers this afternoon. So a lot of these teams on the board here are teams that are playing early today. Eric Sinek playing on the first power play unit at practice, so that would be a signal that he may return as soon as their game tomorrow. Kaprizov's still not with the team at this stage. So for the Minnesota Wild, they did have the comeback last night against Dallas. It was impressive. Now they're going to have to try to, probably replicate that again. But if they have Eric Sinek back, that's going to be a bonus for them, because without Eric Sinek without Eric Sinek and Kaprizov, that definitely hurts your attack a lot. Getting Eric Sinek back should help. Caden Primo's apparently headed to waivers today, so those will be posted in about 15 minutes time from now. And I don't think he's going to get picked up. I think the concern the Montreal Canadiens have had, and the reason that it's taken this long, is I think they were concerned somebody would pick him up because he's a young goaltender. They wanted to give him a chance to play through his poor play, and it just hasn't worked out. So I get the feeling he probably clears waivers, but let me know your thoughts if you think anybody might pick him up. It will be interesting to see what happens with Primo, because I think there could still be a good goaltender there. But at this point in time, I completely understand why Dobesh is getting the start today. And yeah, he looks pretty good today for Montreal. I'm not spoiling anything, but he looks pretty good so far. So far, it's very, very early. 20 minutes is very early to, address a goaltender. Go, yep, no, he's good. Go ahead, draft the guy. Anyways, the World Juniors yesterday, and we'll get to the game everybody's talking about. I have some opinions. So Slovakia beat Switzerland 2-1. Finland beats Germany 3-1. Sweden beat Kazakhstan 8-1. And then Latvia wins in a shootout against Canada, which starts the annual Canada sucks conversation. These players aren't good enough. This roster isn't good enough. This team's terrible. Even though they outchanced Latvia, and Latvia's pulled off upsets at the Worlds before, and I'm talking about like World Championships as well as World Juniors. But of course, this means that, well, that's it. That's it. Canada just, they don't have the heart. They're a bunch of teenagers representing their country. I understand people aren't all that happy with some of the roster selections that were made, but it's the round robin. It's not the medal round. And I've had this conversation in front of this camera before. People overreact all the time to round robin games. They're individual games. It is not the medal round. And for the players, they're still likely getting used to playing with some of their teammates, so there can be mistakes that happen. And I mean, it's not like they were outplayed the whole way through by Latvia either. So at any rate, I'll go ahead and say this: congratulations to Latvia, the Latvian players. It's huge for them to beat Canada, so good on them. Today it's Czechia versus Kazakhstan, and then the USA is playing Latvia. The expectation is the USA is probably gonna um, beat up on Latvia, and then we'll continue that whole conversation about Canada, USA, and all that. But yeah, it's the World Juniors, and there is always going to be that overreaction to what goes on in the round robin before the medal round. But we see that at the Worlds. We see that even at the Olympics. I can remember huge overreactions if a Canadian team didn't play at its absolute best and didn't get all the best results. So, at any rate, I just appreciate those kids for, during Christmas time going to play. And so, all the best to them. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.